Here's your wrestling news for January 12, 2024. We are kicking off today with the Bloodline, as it was on this week's Raw that Roman Reigns cemented his place as the one true tribal chief with his win over Solo Sikoa. Sikoa was nowhere to be seen on this week's SmackDown, with Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga going on without him in a tease of what's to come. According to sources, one plan for next week's SmackDown is that Sikoa will return and acknowledge Reigns as the tribal chief now that the OTC holds the Ula Fala. That would lead to Sikoa attempting to dissolve the new Bloodline, only to be attacked by Jacob Fatu, who's been speculated to take over as leader of the faction. Just as Sikoa took the group from Reigns, Fatu would take the faction from Sikoa, kicking off a new feud that had culminated in a match at WrestleMania 41. That match would certainly give a spotlight to Sikoa and Fatu and leave Roman available to have his reported match with CM Punk this April in Las Vegas. But what do you think? Should WWE go with this idea, or is there a better direction for the new Bloodline after this week's loss on Raw? Share your thoughts below. On this week's SmackDown, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens continued their feud, with Rhodes abandoning the tag team main event to brawl with the self-professed real WWE champion. Rhodes and Owens continued their fight after the match, with the pair ultimately crashing through a pair of tables, but that wasn't the end of their fighting. In fan-recorded footage, it's shown that Owens and Rhodes brawled into the concession stands after the show, with WWE officials intervening to keep the two separated. In a funny moment, Owens snagged some cotton candy on his way out, but it's clear that these two will be all business in their ladder match on February 1st at the Royal Rumble. It was back in November that Jade Cargill was written off TV with an attack, with names including Naomi, Bayley, and Nia Jax being pointed at as potential suspects. In an update from PW Insider, it's reported that Jade has wrapped up this week's training at the Performance Center and is expected to undergo more training next week. It was previously reported that Jade could have resurfaced at this week's SmackDown, though that obviously did not happen, as WWE is taking its time before bringing her back to TV. There have been conflicting reports about Jade's absence, with some stating that she is legitimately hurt, while other reports have said that her hiatus is simply a part of a storyline. Whatever the case, the storm remains active at the Performance Center as speculation continues to grow about how she'll return and who her attacker will be. Right now, WWE is on fire when it comes to high-scale productions, with this week's NXT New Year's Evil and Raw's debut on Netflix proving to be runaway success stories. These major shows only happen with tireless work of people backstage, and Fightful Select reports that WWE's VP of line producing, Brian Fatum, sent a thank you to the production team. Fatum appreciated the efforts of people over a massively important week, and this was a well-deserved thanks, especially as the road crew and production team don't get any limelight. These people aren't on TV, and it's easy for fans to forget that there wouldn't be WWE shows without them, and they earned the praise they received by Fatum this week. More from SmackDown, and before he was brawling with Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes shared an in-ring segment with Paul Heyman, who shared that Roman Reigns wants his title back. For the first time in over 6 years, Roman Reigns will enter the Men's Royal Rumble match, teasing a third title showdown at WrestleMania between the two rivals. Fightful Select reports that Michael Kirschenbaum and Christian Scovell were listed as the writers, with Scovell usually being the writer for segments with Cody Rhodes. The segment also saw Kevin Owens appear and the new Bloodline also make their presence felt, and it was WWE veterans Michael Hayes and Jamie Noble who produced the segment. This segment saw many twists and turns, as well as some huge news about Reigns and the Rumble, and we'll have to see if the OTC can become a two-time Rumble winner next month. We have some sad news to report now, as Hunter Q. Robbins III, a manager in the original ECW, has sadly passed away at the age of 57. No cause of death has been shared at this time, but fans will remember Robbins for his role managing major names, including managing Sabu for his ECW debut. In his post-wrestling life, Robbins directed and produced films including Coming Undone and short films like Paradox and The Mirror, and our thoughts are with his family at this sad time. On this week's SmackDown, LA Knight failed to regain the US title from Shinsuke Nakamura thanks to the Bloodline getting involved, leaving fans to wonder where he goes from here. Many feel that Knight has lost considerable momentum as of late, and on Busted Open Radio, Mark Henry criticized the booking of Knight versus Nakamura. He explained, "It's amazing how they put two guys that are kind of like in the same boat against each other. They're both trying to climb to the top, but they haven't exactly put the best story with those guys. I've seen some smearing of, not booze, but like lack of interest in their matches. I'm not making it up, I'm not hating on them. I like both of them. Actually, I wish that there would be different things done." Knight has spent years as one of WWE's most popular stars and spent plenty of time pursuing championships before finally winning the US title from Logan Paul back at SummerSlam. Now, though, Knight seems to be stuck, and with his setback against Nakamura this week, it remains to be seen what direction awaits both men going forward. But what do you think? Have WWE fans lost interest in Knight, and if so, what can be done to get the crowd excited again? Share your thoughts down in the comments section. At NXT New Year's Eve, Femi captured the NXT Championship by dethroning Trick Williams in a triple threat match that included Eddie Thorpe. Fans have been wanting to see Femi get this win for a long time, but despite this monumental moment, it was The Rock who closed the show with a promo, not the new champion. On Busted Open Radio, Femi addressed being overshadowed by The Rock with humor, but gave a warning to the final boss not to take his spotlight again. He said, "At the moment the time was being stolen from me, I wasn't even aware it was being stolen from me. Maybe if I knew, I would have gone up to him and been like, 'Hey, Uncle Dwayne, what are you doing?' I'll let it slide this time, but the next time Uncle Dwayne comes in and steals time from me, there's going to be problems." Femi was also asked about the finish to his title match, which saw Eddie Thorpe stun Trick Williams with a steel chair before Femi pinned the now former champion after a powerbomb. When questioned about offering Williams a rematch, Femi shared why he has no intentions of giving Trick a shot at the title anytime soon, saying, "I wanted the title match to be a singles bout. It was Trick who suggested the triple threat, so now he needs to go back in the line and earn his opportunity." Femi is already proving to be a confident NXT champion, with Trick Williams and The Rock in his sights, as the ruler is ready to prove that he will not be overshadowed again. In August 2024, Odyssey Jones arrived on Monday Night Raw and aligned with The New Day, and fans quickly speculated that he'd be joining the group full-time as a replacement for Big E. Just 1 month later, Jones had vanished from TV and would later be fired due to allegations of domestic violence made at the now former superstar. This week, Jones spoke about the allegations against him in a video on Instagram, claiming that the allegations against him are false and he is taking action.
World, my name is Amari Palmer, aka Odyssey Jones, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, for giving me the strength to get through these difficult times. As always, all glory to God. Secondly, I would like to say Happy New Year, and I wish you all a great and safe 2025. I'm making this video to address the false allegations. These false claims are coming from a party that I used to prior engage with, and I apologize for taking so long for addressing these false claims, but I had to patiently wait to get an injunction set in place to protect my family, my friends, and myself. I am currently taking legal action against said party, so I can't speak too much more on it, but there will be more information to come. With that being said, I would like to thank the WWE for the amazing opportunity they have given me in my life. I thank you so much for bringing me on. I'd like to thank all the coaches I've worked with over the years for helping me work on my craft and grow as a person. I'd also like to thank management and creative for putting me in a position for success, as well as thank the fans for the support that you have given me, not only today, but all the way back in day one. With all that being said, the journey continues. I'm ready to get back to doing what I love to do. I am accepting bookings in 2025, and I thank you all for your support and for your time. I'm wishing you nothing but blessing and love, baby. Big O out.
Jones certainly made some strong claims in his video, though it's unclear which party that you engage with he believes are behind the allegations against him. Odyssey Jones has plans to wrestle in 2025, but his life outside of the ring continues to be a topic of interest, and we'll continue to follow his situation. Now, Darby Allin has been absent from AEW TV since his December 22nd Dynamite match against Ricochet, which ended in a time-limit draw. According to Fightful Select, AEW has plans for a major push for when Allin returns, but fans shouldn't expect him back until the spring, as he's currently focused on his Everest training. Speaking to Under the Ring, Allin discussed his training for the climb and shared that breathing had been a key focus, as he's been able to hold his breath for 3 minutes and 40 seconds. "I thought if I do it on air, I need to do it in water so no one thinks I'm cheating. I love being pushed to my absolute limit, but yeah, it's definitely tough." It may be tough, but Allin is determined to climb Everest this year, even with Sting trying to talk him out of the dangerous endeavor. But what do you think of Allin's climb? Do you think this will elevate AEW's status when he returns? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And we're ending with Bronson Reed, who's currently out with a severe foot injury, and on Twitter this week, Reed shared that he hopes to be cleared by July. Not only that, but Reed also hopes to share the ring with Noah's Naomichi Marufuji, as the Australian is already making big plans for in and out of WWE.